ankles here. We have a special guest today, Southside Lenny, who also happens to be your grandpa. He has been a sports fan for 80 years, so he knows a lot of sports trivia. We're going to test his basketball knowledge today. But first, how about a little background on your love of sports?
Yes, I grew up in Chicago, and I've been a hoop junkie ever since. There was a guy in the back of us, and he had a peach basket, talk about primitive, pasted onto his garage. That's how I got interested in playing basketball. And my mother went to DePaul University, and she used to get a news bulletin or something, so I started reading it, and they had a little section for basketball. I started following basketball. This is in the late 30s. My mom took me to what they call Ladies' Day at Wrigley Field in Chicago for a baseball game. I walked in there, I thought I'd gone to heaven. I used to go to basketball games. I was making a couple of bucks when I was an actor. And so I got tickets to college doubleheaders in the Chicago Stadium. And I used to have 2 games every night. One was Northwestern was the host, and then DePaul University was the second host. They had a player, he was 6'9". His name was George Mikan. He was considered the greatest player. And now he'd be a power forward, or maybe just a 3. Anyway, he dominated the game. Talk about great players. I think one of the tests is if a guy changes the game, like Steph Curry, he's changed the game. Now you have to shoot threes, don't you? Other guys, just off the top, James Harden has changed the game. LeBron, the game changer.
Southside Lenny, can
Yes.
you tell the story of when you got in a fight at the White Sox game?
Did I get into a fight at a White Sox game?
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. Did your father tell you that?
Yeah.
The rival gang cornered you in the outfield at Comiskey Park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tell us.
It was a one-sided fight. The White Sox guy hit a 425-foot triple out to the center field wall. The game was over, and so we walked out there. Here come 4 or 5 teenage guys, neighborhood guys. Hey, man, give me a dime. Streetcar fare was a nickel in those days, so that's all I had. My friend and I both. And this guy, give me some money. And started beating us, So we tried to run, and the guy tripped us up and kicked our butts. I had other fights. One time I was in an elevator, I was heading downtown, and some guy stuck his head out as they were pulling away and spit on me. The train stopped, and the conductor got out of the car, said, hey, anybody get spit on back there? I said, yeah, I did. I waved my hand. He said, okay, come on, you guys. Started loading these guys off to the train. The last guy, he looked like about, 18 years old, stud built, tough looking guy. He turned around and hit the conductor right in the mouth. And the conductor fought back, and this guy, the conductor was overmatched. He got back on the train and left. So now these guys, they're all 5 of them, they're walking back toward me. And I don't know what to do. And they go, hey man, you the guy that squealed? I said, well, I like a blam, a guy hit me in the mouth. So I fought back, I hit this guy, and cut his eye pretty good. And the big guy comes out, hey man, and he hit me a couple of shots. And finally, somebody said, call the police. So let's get out of here. So they left anyway. That's two little skirmishes I had.
We're going to name 2 players at a time. You have to quickly say which one was better and why. So you have 30 seconds for each answer.
Mm-hmm.
Only 30 seconds. Okay, so first we have Steve Nash or John Stockton.
Nash or Stockton? Steve Nash, I would say. Stockton was great. They never won a championship with John Stockton. Karl Malone was his sidekick. They really popularized the pick and roll. Of the 2, I think Nash rates higher.
Question number 2 is, who is better, Kareem or Hakeem?
Kareem or Hakeem?
Yeah.
Kareem. He's one of the top 5 players, I think.
Okay. Dennis Rodman or Draymond Green?
One thing you got to realize, boys, a little pause here if I can, but it's hard to compare guys of different eras. It's hard to compare even Michael Jordan and LeBron. I think Dennis Rodman probably would rate higher. You know, he's a great rebounder, and he was. Draymond is good too. Rodman was very good with Michael and Scottie Pippen and those guys. So I would say Rodman, yeah. He's a character.
Oscar Robertson or Elgin Baylor?
Oh, that's a toughie. Elgin Baylor, my all-time favorite player, you know. Oscar really rates a little higher. For several seasons, he averaged a triple-double. Not for his whole career, he's close. At 25 points a game, 9 assists, 7 rebounds for his career. That's really good. Story about Elgin Baylor. I was at courtside seats one time.
Got a time.
It's a little sub story here. Elgin Baylor he had a lot of great moves, and he put on a few moves. I almost fell out of my seat. I was following. I lurched down to the court, sort of halfway. I caught myself, but no, he was a great player. He was a forerunner of guys like Dr. J. But Robertson was Mr. Smooth. You know, well, he didn't play on very many championship teams. Just one with the Milwaukee Bucks when Kareem was there. That's the only championship he ever won. But he was a great player.
Okay, next up we have Kawhi Leonard or Kevin Durant.
Oh man, that's a toughie. That really is. I like Kawhi's game better, but Kevin Durant, man, he's got the whole package. And he's taller.
Oh.
Right now, I would say Durant. Kawhi might 10, 15 great seasons still up. He's only 20 years old. Oh,
Time's up.
you guys are ruthless. You're ruthless.
Bob Cousy or Calvin Murphy?
Oh, Cousy. Yeah, Bob Cousy. Calvin Murphy was a great free throw shooter. I think he averaged over 90% for his career.
Okay. Scottie Pippen or Tim Duncan?
Duncan, although Pippen was great, but you know, Michael Jordan never won a championship until Pippen came along. But Duncan was a great player. Those guys were lucky to play for Popovich. You know?
MJ or Kobe?
MJ. Kobe copied MJ his whole career. In the beginning, he even talked like him. He did. MJ, yeah. He changed the game. Yeah.
Okay. Wilt Chamberlain or Shaquille O'Neal? Just said
Wilt.
Yes.
Wilt. Sorry about that, guys. He was kind of like Mike in a way. There weren't any 7-footers before Wilt came along. You know? Except a guy named Bob Curlin for Oklahoma A&M. He wasn't a great player, but he was 7 feet. So Shaq, he was never in great shape. Yeah, I'll give you my answer already, you know.
Yeah. Okay, John Havlicek or Karl Malone?
Havlicek played with great teams. He was a great all-around player.
Who wants to tell you something?
My dad helped to write the questions, so that's why they're so tough.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but John Havlicek or Karl Malone?
John Havlicek or Karl Malone?
I think Karl Malone would rank higher. You know, consider the greatest power forward ever. Still.
What about Tim Duncan, though? What about Tim Duncan for the best power forward of all time?
Thanks, Dad. Thanks for these nice questions.
Okay. Charles Barkley or James Worthy?
Barkley. Worthy played for the Lakers, of course, and they had several great players, Kareem and Magic and so forth. So I take the other guy. What did you say?
Barkley.
Short-term memory, huh?
Charles Barkley.
Barkley, yeah. Barkley was a great player. Not very tall.
You're out of time. Okay.
Well, you guys are nasty.
Okay. Old Isaiah Thomas or Steph Curry?
What?
The old Isaiah Thomas or Steph Curry?
Steph. Steph changed the game, like I said. He really did.
Okay, Larry Bird or Jerry West?
That's a hard one. Just kidding.
Yeah, it is tough. Your dad had Larry Bird on the wall. Who was the other one you had? Michael Jordan, Anthony?
Yep.
I think Bird. Jerry West was great in every respect. He was a great player, a great coach. Can I have one little add-on here, boys?
Yep. Yep.
I saw Jerry West play in college. He played for West Virginia, and he was a forward in those days. He could dunk. He was only 6'3", really. He went to the pros, and he was a great guard too. And now he's a great GM. He was a great coach for the Lakers. But
John, George Gervin or Allen Iverson?
Iverson. George Gervin was mostly strictly a scorer. Iverson, he had a lot of assists. He averaged about 25 a game for his career. So I got to go with Iverson. He was tough too.
Okay. Rick Barry or Earl Monroe?
Rick Barry.
Okay.
Pretty underrated guy. One year he averaged 35 points a game. Earl Monroe, he was very good, a big spectacular player, highlight film guy.
Okay. Jason Kidd or Gary Payton?
Jason Kidd. I saw him play in high school over at St. Joseph in Alameda in the Bay Area. So he was a better player. Yeah.
Okay. Kevin McHale or Anthony Davis?
Both great players. Anthony Davis is really one of the top players now. If you had to name an all-star team right now, Anthony Davis would probably be in it. Kevin McHale was very tough.
John. Moses Malone or Robert Parrish?
Moses Malone. Yeah, he was a great rebounder, one of the greatest of all time. Parrish was tough too. He had the advantage of playing on a great Celtic team. Parrish did. He had McHale and Bird and all those guys. So.
Okay. Dwayne Wade or Klay Thompson?
Dwayne Wade or Klay Thompson. Tough one. I guess Wade. Wade, he scored more. Thompson's a great shooter, one of the all-time great shooters. Wade.
Wade led the Heat to a championship before LeBron got there.
He did, yeah.
Last one for this round.
And the last one for this round is Magic Johnson or LeBron James?
They kind of play different positions, although I would say LeBron. Magic had one of the great games of all time. It was Game 6, Celtics versus the Lakers. And the Lakers were up 3-2, and they were going back to Boston for Game 6. And Kareem got sick. I had migraine headaches, I think. Anyway, he couldn't play. So Magic came in there. He played center. He played center and had one of the greatest games I ever saw an individual play. He played center, throwing hook shots, and they won the championship in Boston without Kareem.
Okay, but we have a bonus question.
Oh, good.
A $64,000 question.
How much?
$64,000 question.
Ooh! Well, right.
LeBron or MJ?
Oh, yeah. MJ. One thing though, boys, a lot of these guys had to have a partner. MJ didn't win any titles until Pippen came along. LeBron, he had Kyrie.
Do you think LeBron will beat Kareem's scoring record?
He's changed his game a little bit, but he's still scoring a lot of points. I think he had a good shot at it.
Okay, I have a question. LeBron or Jordan in their prime, who would win in a 1v1?
1 versus 1, 1-on-1?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Michael.
Yeah.
Michael was ruthless. They say he was a killer. LeBron doesn't quite have that.
Can you tell us the story of when you saw Michael Jordan play in college?
Oh yeah, he was playing for North Carolina, and I was doing the public address announcing at Stanford with a preseason game. At forward, Michael Jordan, my best announcer voice. Stanford had a real good player in Jaan. And Michael put a move on him over the top, and and the whole place exploded, you know. Yeah.
No.
We're doing trivia quiz now.
Okay.
What year was Michael Jordan drafted, and what two players were picked ahead of him? Sam Bowie.
Number 1 pick was Akeem Olajuwon.
Akeem Olajuwon.
Oh, okay.
And the second pick was
Bowie.
Sam Bowie. Yeah. Who is the all-time NBA leader in free throw percentage, and who is second?
Calvin Murphy, I think, has got to be up there pretty close. Is he in there?
Nope.
No. Barry? No.
No.
All-time free throw. Stockton?
Nope.
No.
I hate to say that, but I give.
So number 1 is Curry, and number 2 is Nash.
Steph Curry, his is 90.6, and then Steve Nash is 90.4.
What round was Ben Wallace drafted in?
Ben Wallace?
Mm-hmm.
Which round?
Pass. I don't know.
He wasn't drafted.
Oh, trick. Oh, that's not fair.
Who's the best player you've ever saw live?
Best player I ever saw live. Wow. Elgin Baylor. Back in the old days, they didn't televise games live. Settle down there, John, when I'm getting dizzy watching you.
Who's the best dunker you've ever saw?
Best dunker. There's a guy, Aaron Jones. Yeah.
And Gordon.
Aaron Gordon, I'm sorry. He went to Mitty High School. Your father is a alum of Mitty.
Okay. Who was the MVP of the NBA Finals when the Warriors beat the Cavaliers in 2015?
Draymond Green was the MVP, I think, one of those series.
Ooh.
Nope.
Wrong? Okay, well, it's got to be then.
It's
2015. Curry?
nope.
It was Andre
Iguodala.
Yeah.
I knew it was one of the off guys, yeah.
Okay. So 2 players in NBA history have won 7 consecutive regular season scoring titles. Who are they?
Jordan was one,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And the second one, Wilt Chamberlain, right? How about
Got one right, finally.
that?
Okay. How many championship rings did Jerry West get, and what years?
One. He came in the league in 1960. It wasn't until the 70s, like 71, 72, somewhere in there.
72.
Yeah.
All right, 2 for 2. I'm on a roll.
In 1968, what Houston Cougars player outplayed Lou Alcindor in the first nationally televised college basketball game at the Astrodome?
Elvin Hayes.
Ooh.
3 in a row. He had 39 points and 15 rebounds. What were the previous 2 names of the Los Angeles Clippers?
Oh,
Might end his streak.
I don't know.
It's the Buffalo Braves and the San Diego Clippers.
Okay.
Who is considered the greatest high school player to come out of New York City after Lou Alcindor, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
I know one thing. He was a black guy. That's a start.
Well,
Wait
right about that.
a second now.
He was from Coney Island.
Oh, that helps a lot. Yeah.
He has a documentary on
Thank you for that
HBO.
clue. You're from Coney Island. Okay.
And he has a documentary on HBO.
Wow.
He was a disappointment in the NBA.
He was all right. He was all
So
right.
do you give up?
Should have gotten that one. Who is it?
Stephon Marbury.
Last one. How many championships did Isaiah Thomas and the Bad Boys of the Detroit Pistons win?
Either 2 or 3.
Ooh. Two.
2.
2.
What years? What years did they win it?
Oh, not the 90s.
It was
Okay, it's 1989 and 1990.
We'd like to end with one last question. What is the best single NBA team of all time?
Most dominant was the Boston Celtics. You had Russell and Heinsohn and Havlicek and
Well, we're asking for a specific year.
what do you think is the greatest team of all time?
The Celtics, Lakers, or the Bulls?
That's a pretty good choice. Lakers, Celtics, or Bulls.
What about the Spurs? The Spurs are kind of good.
They make the playoffs like every year.
Popovich is a great coach. Who's the greatest player you think of all time?
So far, I think it's Michael Jordan, but we'll see at the end of LeBron James's at the end of LeBron's career. It's too early to tell about LeBron, so I'm gonna say MJ.
What do you think, Don?
I think it's Michael Jordan.
Of all the players you've seen on TV or in person, which player would you emulate?
What is that?
Copy.
Oh,
I know one.
Steph Curry or Kyrie Irving.
Jaan, how about you?
What about Kawhi?
What part of your game are you working on?
Shooting.
A lot. My handles.
Good. I know you're going to be a point guard, I think, Jaan.
Yeah, I'll probably be like a shooting guard.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 6'3". I'm gonna be like Damian Lillard or Trae Young. Yeah.
Did you guys watch that horse thing on TV yesterday?
Yeah. I can play
I
Trae.
almost fell asleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty boring. Okay, guys, we'd like to thank our special guest, Southside Lenny. And, bye.
Broken Echo's out.
Thank you for having me, boys.